So this one will be a quick video, unlike the last one, which was 53 minutes. This one should be under 5, maybe 10. And that is, so the question is, what if we want an object to emit light? Well, here's how you do it. Select the object that you want to emit light, which in this case is this sphere. And then up here in our Renderman shelf, we've got this Pixar Mesh Light. Make geometry emissive. So whatever geometry I've selected is going to become a light. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to turn it this color. It gives it actually a Pixar black material. And then it gives it this Pixar Mesh Light Shape 1 value. So in the hypershade, if I right-click on Pixar Black and select a graph network, you can see what the graph network is. We've got our output node, we've got our Pixar Black material, and then we have this Pixar Mesh Light shape. And this is where my light controls are. And so I can adjust, let's see, yeah. So I can adjust my intensity and my exposure. So you don't need to go to 14. We can go to like 1 or something. All right, so I do that. And then I click, we'll do IPR render. Get that going. Okay, there we go. And now we can see it is emitting light. Now, being that it is emitting light, it actually you can't really see any detail in the object itself because that's what happens when things emit light. But we've got this really lovely highlight happening on this side of this sphere. You can see the highlight happening on the more metallic one and on the ground as well. We'll talk more about lighting controls when we get to lights next week. But basically, in the Pixar Mesh Light shape, we can adjust the color, we can adjust the exposure and the intensity, which are similar things. The intensity is a linear scale. The exposure is what it would be, quadratic, exponential, one of those two. You can also set the visibility of the light. So if you don't want to see the light itself, just the result of the light, you turn off the camera visibility. I'll restart the IPR render. And now we just have the result of the light, which is also pretty cool. So that is the short of the mesh lights. Yeah. Transparent material. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to create we'll do a plane. I'm going to stop this IPR render. I will rotate it. I will move it. I will rotate it some more. It's going to be kind of rough, but we'll get there. And I'm going to give it a little bit of detail. So I'm going to select these center faces. And I'm going to grow the selection a couple times. And then we're going to extrude them. Extrude them out just a little bit. I'm going to repeat that, extrude a little bit more. Okay, I'm doing these multiple extrusions because this is how you can get basically edge loops without having to add edge loops after the fact. I'm just extruding into the edge loops. I'll do that again. Again, adjust the thickness. And extrude this in a little bit. Oops, didn't want to do that. Display, show all. Okay, let's do this again. Oh, just showing hidden. Let's do it again. And again. And one last one. Okay. So this is going to be some sort of clear, transparent material. So I'm going to first right-click and assign a new material. Now, you can certainly use a glass preset or a thin glass preset. If you don't want to use a preset, you can go to Renderman Materials and Pixar Surface. And we can set color however we want. We can even set, specular. We'll probably have some specular, right? And then we want to go down to this glass section, and it's the refraction and reflection that will make it up. So I'm going to bring in my material viewer so we can see it, and bring up the refraction gain and the reflection gain, and then we also need to adjust the transparency, which is turn. Where am I at? There we go. Not that. I've got the wrong thing selected. Too many windows. So we go here. Go to our surface. So I had to turn down the diffuse gain, right? Because we don't want the diffuse opaqueness of it. We just want. Actually, turn down. Excuse me, the specularity a little bit, or all the way. And it's just the refraction and reflection gain that we want to mess with. And then, of course, we can mess with some roughness too. If you set it to thin glass, it's going to be, well, thin glass. And you can adjust the refractive index. Obviously, depending on the material or the object, you'll get different results. If this is spherical, that's what it looks like. This needs to go away. Stop it. Okay. That's what a spherical would look like. And then if we go, if it was going to be more of a liquid, kind of look like that. That's kind of cool. And then the shader ball would look like this. And so you can adjust the roughness if you want it to be more kind of frosted. You can adjust the refractive index, which is kind of push the highlights around. And then reflection and refraction gain. So we turn up the refraction, feels a little bit thinner. And reflection, okay, reflect the environment around it. So that's how you would do glass. Honestly, I would start with a preset and just modify the preset as opposed to adding a new one. But yeah, that gets you towards a glass.